Hey guys, Gamerdude here. Just a quick live stream. So I've been wanting to do this for a while. Basically, it's so you can get to know me, get to know what games I like, so I can take some requests from you guys as well. So first things first, shout out to all subscribers, old and new. Appreciate the love and support you've all given me over the past year. Wouldn't be where I am today without you. So much love, really appreciate it. To Blazing710-420, Direct Virus, Damien Bartlett, Eric Dawson, and Monty Burns Wakey. Blazin, what's up? Damien, thanks for stopping by, appreciate it. So as I'm saying, this is just sort of a stream so you can get to know me a bit more, so I can take requests from you guys, so I can see what games you like, what games I've actually got, and just so I know what to upload and what not to upload. So I know what to upload and what not to upload, basically. I'll be talking about any DLCs for any games, so any future DLCs for, I don't know, say Spider-Man, Future of Telltale Games, for example. Anything general, just anything in the chat as well. So let's get it started, guys. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to do this for, just an Ask Me Anything video. I mean, I'm doing it from my phone as well, so just let me know about the quality of it, if it's buffering or blurry or anything, because while I'm on my phone I can't really see much, can't really tell. So what I'm going to be doing is showing you exactly what games I've got, what games I don't have, just anything that's needed basically for you guys to come over to the channel and see what I've got. Just bear with me a second, guys, I'll be back in a mo. There we go. Damien, what's up? Just read some of these comments. Decent picture, that's fair enough. I mean, for a while, I've not had a decent enough phone to do this. I've had a really crappy phone over the last few months, so I've finally got a decent phone to do this. Decent camera. It's, I think, a 360p camera, so that's all good. So in a little bit, I'm going to be showing you exactly what games I've got saved on the PlayStation system and what I've got as a physical copy. So that way you guys know exactly what I've got and what I can and can't upload. Because as I've said in my description, I will upload anything that's requested if it's within my power. If I have to go out and buy a specific game for a specific series, let me know. If there's any games that you want me to do that I possibly haven't got, let me know. I know Blazing, you've been telling me about the Kingdom Hearts series. What's that one? No, I've not seen that new Dragon Ball trailer. Damien says Resident Evil 7. I've been thinking about Resident Evil myself, because since they've remastered it, the original version from the PS1, I mean, it actually looks hella lit. I mean, it looks fantastic. I mean, I played the original. I played Resident Evil Survivor. That was a big mistake now I think about it, because that one was just god awful. But I did enjoy how you could use that fake toy plastic gun thing. The G-Con, that was it, the G-Con 45, just to use the game itself. Vegeta. I'm not up on my Kingdom Hearts stuff. I haven't played it since the first one, actually, and that's going back a long ways now. But that's another reason why I've done this stream, so you guys can talk to each other, get to know each other, earn some subs for your channel as well, because I always give shout outs as well. I always sub back to new subscribers, and so do most of my subscribers as well. We always get into great conversations when we're on the live streams with the games. Stay tuned later as well, because I'll be doing another Arkham Knight stream. I'll also be starting a new game series tomorrow. It's a series of 5 games. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm just going to drop it on you and hope that you'll like it. Horror games. Yeah, I'm actually quite into horror games. I mean, I've got Until Dawn. Until Dawn was absolutely beautiful. Except for the creepy therapist. If anyone's played Until Dawn who's watching now, the creepy therapist bit, like he says, right, what do you find most scary? Sort of like clowns, tarantulas, or snakes. It's really weird how your choices play through that. I mean, for Halloween, I did plan to do sort of a Scarefest stream where I would stream multiple different horror games. But unfortunately, I ended up at work, so that didn't happen. I actually work at your equivalent of what would be a Best Buy, Damien and Blazon. So, you know, that sort of stuff takes up a lot of time. Yeah, I've been looking at Kingdom Hearts as well, because it is, as you say, the set of games is actually quite cheap on the PS Store. So it's what it does seem well worth getting. I mean, even if I go into a retail store, it is still quite cheap. I mean, I saw the latest Kingdom Hearts series in one of my GameStops, and it was, I think it was only 14 quid. I mean, to you, that's probably about $10, so that's not too bad. So what I'm going to do now is attempt to flip the camera over so I can show you what games I've got, or I can just, yeah, actually, I'll just pull them out. There's no point in me trying to flip the camera over, because I've never done this before, so just bear with me a second, guys. Yes, I dropped them all. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in right now. I really do appreciate it. I've never done anything like this before, as I said, so just bear with me with the whole Q&A thing. I should have really prepared this before I set it up. But I have a lot of digital games and I have a lot of downloaded games. There we are, it's just a handful. Oh. So, first of all, WWE. Not my favourite games anymore since 2K took over, but if anyone wants to see a series on it, I'd be more than happy to do it, because literally this was the last WWE game I got, and I haven't even played it. So that says a lot. I mean, it was a lot better when, I think it was Activision that owned it before. Was it Activision? Can't remember exactly, but the company that owned it before did a hell of a lot better than 2K have done. We have Infamous Second Son, another great game by Insomniac that brought us Spider-Man, Resistance. So if anyone would be interested in that, just let me know. As we know, there's multiple choices throughout the game. You can be the evil character, the good character. It can be a mix of two. And there's 3 different endings in this one compared to the other 2. Need for Speed Payback. I've done a few videos on this on my channel. I stopped after a while because EA Games, being EA Games, locked everything behind a paywall. Which isn't surprising given EA Games. I mean, what are EA Games thinking, really? I mean, they're saying that singular-based story games are dead. I mean, Infamous, that's a singular-based story game. Is that dead? Spider-Man, singular-based. God of War, are they dead? No. They were some of the top-selling games. And they're thinking that the story games are just a thing of the past now. Really don't agree with that. But yeah, my Need for Speed Payback videos, if you're interested, are in a playlist on my channel. So check those out if you're interested. We have Deadpool, of course. I loved this game so much. I had it on the PS3 and I bought it again on the PS4. YouTube have a lot of issues with this one. Like, there's also a lot of blocked scenes within the game. So when it comes to actually streaming it, only the person that's actually streaming it can see it. It's blocked everywhere. So it'll let you stream it, but no one else can view it. It's just basically YouTube privatizes it to yourself. So it's like you're watching yourself play it yourself. It's really weird. But I'm sure there's a way around it. And if anyone wants me to try do it, I will attempt it. Sorry, the comments keep disappearing. I've got to keep moving towards the phone. Exactly, Blazing. Kingdom Hearts. I mean, as I've said, I've not played it much. I've only played the first one because I'm not too fond of Disney after what they've done with Marvel and what they're doing with Deadpool. PG-13 Deadpool, but let's not go into that, or we'll just start a whole rant about Deadpool. But yeah, it is I know it's one of the singular-based, like, hot topic games right now. Supposedly it's for kids, but we know kids don't play it. It's basically for every age range, because now they're introducing Marvel characters into it. It's getting the hype, you know. It's getting the hype, and it's getting people like me that weren't interested in it before actually interested now. So that's really cool. And then there's what I was talking about earlier, Until Dawn. I would be more than happy to do a playthrough on this if anyone's interested. On my earlier videos, on the first few videos I uploaded to YouTube, to this channel, I did do some Until Dawn videos. It was mostly of the creepy therapist. I think I actually titled it Creepy Therapist. There's one where I've done a couple of death scenes with consequences. But the videos didn't receive that much feedback, so I didn't do them. I didn't do any more. Outlast 2. That is on my list of things to get. I haven't actually got that yet. But it's relatively cheap on the PS Store. I'm earning quite a bit of money from my job now. Got over a 2K payday last month. Did a lot of overtime last month. That's why I've got a well-deserved week off now, which is coming to an end in 4 days. Ugh. Can't play Dragon Ball FighterZ. Every scene is blocked except for when you are just fighting characters, but any storyline is locked. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I don't know why they put blocked scenes in games. I mean, I know me, you, and Direct Virus were talking about this the other day, Blazing, how it's just a blocked scene. Like, you can't even record the gameplay to watch back yourself. Like the PlayStation has that share option where you can just share it, edit it, and trim it whenever you want. You can't even do that with a blocked scene, and it's really a downer on PlayStation, because the PS3 didn't do it. If you had a capture card for the PS3, nothing was blocked on the PS3. You could just capture it and upload it whenever you wanted. But sadly, I don't have a capture card on the PS3, so I'm limited to streaming what I've got on the PS4. It sucks, because I would like to stream a couple of PS3 games I've got, like Destroy All Humans. I really wanted to stream that Destroy All Humans game when I first started this channel, but obviously I realised I couldn't stream from the PS3 direct to YouTube. To view YouTube, then you should be able to view it like Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. I can't play on my YouTube, only Twitch. Yeah, that's another thing as well. Twitch have a lot less restrictions to YouTube. Direct Virus streams on Twitch as well as YouTube, and he tells me that the restrictions aren't as bad as what they are on YouTube. Like the blocked scenes, for example, it will block them on the PS4. So yes, you can save them physically, but it doesn't block them on your stream. You can still stream that particular scene. The copyright issues aren't as bad as what they are on YouTube. Say if you've got music playing through your headset and it picks it up through the echo, YouTube will pick you up on it and copyright you for it, whereas Twitch won't. So I've been thinking about creating a Twitch account just for the sake of that. But I've really been concentrating on this YouTube channel because of how successful it's been. Never expected to get this far within a year, so I really, really thank you guys for that. Shout out to you all once again. Moving on to the game list, we have The Last of Us Remastered. Absolutely beautiful. And I'm thinking about doing this as well because The Last of Us 2 is due out in February, I believe. which is unfortunate because that meant that Days Gone, the next zombie game that's exclusive to PlayStation, was pushed back a month. Just because Sony didn't want the attention taken away from The Last of Us 2. So, in a way, I understand, but like Days Gone was announced, 4 years ago now, and it's just been postponed and postponed and postponed. So I'm thinking, is it really going to be worth the hype? Is it going to be worth getting? But yeah, I am more than willing to do a stream on The Last of Us. If anyone is interested in that, do let me know in the comments. Let me know after the stream's finished if you're interested. I would love to know. Don't need to show me Batman games because I've just done those. Injustice 1 and 2. I started a series on Injustice a few months ago, but I never actually finished it. I titled it Multiverse Madness, just because I was doing the multiverse events, and that actually received quite a lot of feedback, but I never got around to doing it again, just because I felt like it was so repetitive, doing the same thing over and over and over again. So if anyone wants to see me do the story mode, or just casual, anything casual in general, then just let me know. Oh, Damien, no. Venom was the worst pile of crap since Green Lantern. I might get a lot of hate for this, but it was just god-awful. I mean, Elektra, god-awful. Green Lantern, god-awful. But they are still preferable to Venom. Venom was the worst piece of crap in comic book movie history. I'm sorry, but it was. I mean, I honestly thought Green Lantern was bad. I used to watch Green Lantern to help me fall asleep. That's how bad I thought Green Lantern was. But Venom is just... No. They shouldn't have done it. They shouldn't have created a separate universe from it. They should have just kept it all together. Maybe made it before Spider-Man moved over to Marvel. Then probably it would have gone well because Tom Hardy would have donned the Venom suit before Eddie Brock. And that would have made sense because then he could have, gone to San Francisco and the suit would have followed him or something. I don't know. I don't know how they could have gone with that. No, actually, Daredevil wasn't too bad. I quite enjoyed Daredevil. Ben Affleck wasn't too bad as Daredevil. Daredevil has gotten a lot of hate over the years, but to me, it wasn't actually that bad of a film. I mean, Bullseye was there, so that's the first time Bullseye's appeared in anything, and he was a great character. I loved who portrayed Bullseye. That was fantastic. The Kingpin, who played the Kingpin, and what was his name? I know he's in the Green Mile, and I know he's sadly passed away now, but he was a fantastic actor. He was fantastic as the Kingpin. I'm not saying that on the Daredevil Netflix series that the guy playing the Kingpin on that isn't good as well. He is fantastic at the role, and I love how he's now got the classic white suit. That's fantastic. And yes, I think at the end of the Deadpool 2 movie where Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool goes back in time and kills Ryan Reynolds for starting the movie. Yeah. Maybe he'll do the same in Deadpool 3 for Venom. It's like, no! Moving on. Why has that still got a price tag on it? Don't ask me why I left a price tag on one of my games. Yeah, if it was rated R, then it would have been better. But I think they made it PG-13 so they could later possibly merge it to the Marvel Universe. That's what they seem to be doing now. That's why the new Deadpool movies coming out at Christmas are PG-13, because they're wanting to basically move everything into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because Disney actually wants to own all of Hollywood studios by the end of the next 2 years, I think. I don't see it happening, but if they do, then we might as well be calling it Planet Disney. Or should we just rename the planet to Kingdom Hearts? Right? Right? Yeah, but if they're making Deadpool PG-13, then that means half of the stuff's going to be cut out of it. And you know this joke, Blaze, and you know this joke. Instead of kill, they're going to be saying unalive because they don't use the K word. They're not allowed to use the K word. We don't use the K word here. So we're going to unalive them. Oh man, it's crazy. It's crazy how Ryan Reynolds could have agreed to the PG-13 versions. But like I said, we're just going to go into a massive debate about Deadpool if we carry on with this. So next game on my hit list is Hitman. It's the full Steelbook edition. It comes with all the DLC packs and everything. Now, I got this. I played it for a little bit, and I couldn't bring myself to finish it. Just down to the fact that my favorite Hitman game was Hitman Contracts. I don't know if any of you guys watching have played Hitman Contracts, but my favorite mission in Hitman Contracts was the Meat King's party. You got this big, chunky, fat dude just laid there in bed, and when he catches you, he's like, guards, guards, and he's just waving his arms about. It's hilarious. But Hitman, the new Hitman, it just basically seems like you can take anyone out with a sniper and then you're done. You know, you don't need to complete the secondary objectives. You don't need to do it how it says on the objectives. You can just find a sniper and then bam, you're done. So next on my list, Crash Bandicoot. Seriously hyped up when it first came back out, when it was first remastered and redone. Everybody loved it. Everybody wanted it. I mean, I got it straight away because over here in the UK, they did a midnight launch on it. So I got it straight on the midnight launch. Joe Mock, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by. Drink water and give me all your money, please. Well, I don't actually get paid for these videos, so I couldn't give you any money. No, I'm not bothered about getting paid by YouTube. I just want to do this for the sake of it. I want to do it for the fun. I love gaming, so I want to share that experience with everybody else. And clearly 736 people enjoy my content, so that is just flawless. Once again, shout out to you all. Appreciate it. From here, really, just thank you. Yeah, Crash Bandicoot was a major classic. What I want to see done is Crash Team Racing. I would love to see Crash Team Racing come back. If they added online to Crash Team Racing, now, I'm not a huge fan of online games, but as we know, sitting next to your mate with a pad in your hand, that's the way of the dinosaur now. The way gaming companies see it now is if they remaster a game, and that game originally had it where you could sit with your friend with a pad in their hand, it's gone online. So I feel if they brought back out Crash Team Racing, that would bring out a hell of a lot of players just to play online, because it was a lot of fun. Even having your mates next to you. I used to cheat with that game. If I had my mates next to me, I'd push them out of the way, or I'd knock the controller out of their hands, and I'd be like, "Oh, sorry, did I hit you?" Or I'd push them out of the way in their cars just to be a dick, really, and try and win. Atom Warlock, will he be in the new Avengers? Not a clue. The new Avengers movie, the Uso brothers have been extremely quiet. All they've said about it is a trailer may drop before next year, and it may not drop before next year. So that's not a yes and it's not a no, but we are kind of hoping that they do drop a trailer so we can see what characters are in that movie. I mean, obviously we know it's Tony Stark, Captain America, blah, blah, blah. But we don't know of any new characters appearing except for Captain Marvel, of course. Or Captain... Yeah, it's Captain Marvel, yeah. I'm thinking that it would be, yeah, because as you say, it was in the last Guardians movie, but they've now axed the Guardians movie series. So it makes me think, are they axing those characters? Like Peter Quill and Drax, because even Dave Bautista, who plays Drax, he's now moving off to DC. He's going into the next Suicide Squad movie. That was some kind of dispute or contract dispute, or because he wasn't happy with them axing James Gunn as the director, I believe it was. So it really does kind of suck that they've axed that series of movies. But moving on, something I've finally gotten back off Direct Virus after a year. Dead Rising 4 Frank's Big Package. Now, I was super stoked when this came on PS4, because originally it was an Xbox exclusive. The first Dead Rising game was Xbox exclusive, and Microsoft themselves said, and Capcom said themselves, this will be legitimately just an exclusive to Xbox. And then we got hit by Dead Rising 2, which shockingly came out on the PS3 first, before the Xbox. Not too sure why they did that. Then we had Dead Rising 2 Off the Record, which came out on both platforms as well. They came out relatively the same time on both platforms. I think there was like a day's difference. And then they kicked us in the nuts, because the Xbox One came out before the PS4. Dead Rising 3 actually came out as an Xbox exclusive once again, which really did suck. And then, of course, a few years later, Dead Rising 4 was announced, and they said again it would be an Xbox exclusive game, which really pissed me off as well, because it was Frank back, and I love the character of Frank. But at E3 the following year after it came out, they announced that it was coming out on PS4 for Christmas. I was like, okay then, yeah, nice Christmas present. I'll put that on my wish list. And naturally I got it. And I've got to say, I love it. It really makes me feel like I'm playing the first one all over again, because you're back in Willamette, you're back in the first city. So just let me know, guys, if you want to see any playthroughs on that. I did a live stream of it a couple of days ago with Frank Rising. Got a bit of feedback, got a couple of likes, a couple of views, so I'll be interested to know if you want me to do it, because I've still got the Capcom Heroes series to do, which, before I move on to my next game, reminds me of the DLCs that came out for Dead Rising 4. Xbox players, and I don't agree with this, I don't like Xboxes, but I don't agree with what they did with this. Xbox players had to pay for any extra DLC and content that came with the game. However, PS4 players, when it came out on PS4, we got it all for free. It's, I'm not complaining, we got it all for free, but it's technically a kick in the nuts to any Xbox players, which really does kind of suck. Mysterio will have the fishbowl. Will he actually have the classic fishbowl, or will it be CGI'd? Will he be able to take it off properly, or will it be CGI'd? That's the thing. Yeah, they cancelled it because Disney fired James Gunn, as I said, the director, and Disney felt that they couldn't go anywhere else with the franchise with him gone, because he was the lead scriptwriter, he was the lead designer of it all, basically. So they just didn't see any reason for it to continue. So maybe, because as we know, the next Avengers movie has had a couple of rewrites. So it is possible that they could just write them out at the end of that movie. Like, they're all trapped in the Soul Stone, as we know, so they might not get out of the Soul Stone, or when they get out of the Soul Stone they could die or just go off and do something else and never be seen again, which would really suck, because I love Peter Quill. I love Peter Quill. He is a great character. And yes, damn you Disney. I've said damn you Disney for years. Lisa, what's up? Long time. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. This is basically just a hangout chat stream. There's no gaming going on until later. I'm not doing an Arkham Knight stream for about another 3 hours. So if you're interested, stay tuned for that. This is just so you can get to know me, get to know what games I've got, so you can talk to anyone in the live chat, get some subs for your channel. Because that's what I'm all about. I'm all about sharing. Sharing's caring, right? Right, guys? It's like, you guys help me, so I'll help you. Peter Quill was disintegrated, and so was Drax. And Gamora, Gamora died because Thanos threw her off that cliff thing to get the Soul Stone, And of course, Groot died. The only piece of Groot that's left is on Thor's hammer, Storm Chaser. I think it's called Storm Chaser, isn't it? And yet Rocket was the only one that survived. Because I think there was a post-credit scene of the last Avengers movie where Rocket said to Thor, give me the hammer, give me it, it's all that's left of Groot, it's all that's left of him, blah, blah, blah. Because as we've seen, Groot can reconstitute himself from just a single twig, like he did. Well, it technically wasn't Groot, it was technically his son, and the real Groot is actually dead, which was a downer when we all found out. Oh yeah, for sure, Damien, no worries. Thanks for stopping by though, appreciate it. Well, the whole idea of the next Avengers movie is that it is based on time travel. So them changing the timeline could result in Thanos never actually seeking out the Soul Stones, so that what led to the events of Gamora's death might never happen in the first place. That's just my theory anyway. Yes, that's what I was trying to say. Theoretically, that means Groot can come back because there's a piece of him left on Thor's hammer. But moving on to the next game on the list, we have Dying Light. Now, once again, there is another game for this coming out, Dying Light 2. Bit sketchy on the details of the release of that. I'm not sure when the release is due. There's a trailer to it on my channel if you guys are interested as well, if you want to see that. But I'd be more than happy to do that because I haven't progressed very far in it. I've had it for about 3 years now, and I haven't progressed very far in the game because first-person zombie narratives, it's just not my thing with a first-person zombie game. It's like they're just in your face, basically. I like to see your character. I like to see your character getting bitten or fighting them off, whereas this, it just feels wrong because the camera's shaking and it's just in your face, and I don't like that sort of thing. But still, because I've not progressed very far, I would be more than happy to do a series on it, do a stream on it. Just let me know what you guys think. Senator Palpatine, Samuel Jackson is... That's possible as well. I mean, we don't know because we saw Nick Fury get disintegrated as well, so obviously he's going to come back at some point. It's Nick Fury. Nick Fury doesn't die. We've seen that. We saw that at the end of Captain America Winter Soldier, where we thought he was dead, but actually he's not, when he really should have been after taking a bullet to the heart and the ribs and the kidneys. But yeah, continuity, Marvel, continuity errors. Yeah, that's how I feel about time travel in games as well, or in movies. It's the biggest cop-out that developers could do, or movie creators could do, because it resets everything. It resets it for it to be rebooted. It resets it for it to be changed. It cancels out all the other movies. Like X-Men Days of Future Past, that cancelled out X-Men 2 and X-Men 3. So basically, the only movie that exists in that universe now is X-Men 1. Because X-Men Origins happened, obviously, because from what happened after the events of X-Men Apocalypse, we saw Logan appear in that Weapon X stuff. That led up to X-Men Origins. So that still happened. Maybe a little bit different, but still happened. Yeah, Gamora wouldn't be in the Soul Stone, as you say, because she was physically murdered. She died. But everyone else, they were sort of just disintegrated, so they were trapped inside the Soul Stone. So the only way for Gamora to actually come back is for them to rewrite the timeline. As I said, if Tony Stark and the Avengers get all the Infinity Stones before Thanos actually goes out and seeks them, then Thanos will never be led to that planet to seek out the Soul Stone, in which case Gamora will never die, because never happened. But since they've written off that series of movies now, I doubt we'll ever see any of the characters again. We might see Karen Gillan's character. I can't remember the name for the life of me. She's the blue robotic thing. I've forgotten her name. It's been a while since I watched Guardians of the Galaxy. But we might possibly see her because she's contracted for another 2 or 3 movies, I believe. So we might possibly see her. But the thing about time travel is the paradoxes. As you say, Blazon, there's no need for them to use time travel or the people to get out the soul stone or whatnot. But the thing about time travel is the paradoxes. The paradoxes don't resolve themselves. So it's a bad case of, well, hang on a second. You've gone back in time to prevent this event from happening. So in doing so, you wouldn't have gone back in time in the first place to prevent that event from happening. Paradox loop. Just go round and round in one big circle, like your own little pocket world. But that's just me getting sciencey and geeky, so I'm going to move on. Next game on the list is LA Noire Remastered. Again, I had this on the PS3, and I loved it that much. I got it again on the PS4. Still haven't finished it, just not got around to it. So if anyone wants to see me do a series on that, just let me know. 5 people watching, so I'd love to hear your feedback and thoughts on me doing that. Next on the list, we have South Park: The Fractured Butthole. I wasn't fond of this one, if I'm honest. If I'm honest, I only really got it so I could get Stick of Truth again on the download. Because Fractured Butthole, it just seemed ridiculous compared to the first. The first one was absolutely brilliant. The first one followed from one of the main story episodes at the time the game came out. Minus the censorship issues that were over my way over Europe. The game was censored in parts. You just had this guy sitting there like this with his hand over his face. And you got some dodgy background music and the EU symbol saying, "Sorry, Europe, you cannot view this particular part of the game." Which was a bit daft because the TV show has shown a lot worse than what was censored in the game. I don't get it. But Fractured Butthole, even though I didn't like it, it'd still be fun to play through it again. And if you'd like to see a playthrough on it, let me know. It's not the next game series I have planned. The next game series I have planned, I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to drop it on you tomorrow. Let me read back some of these comments, guys. Sorry for being in your face while I check it through my phone. You won't believe how I've actually got my phone propped up. I've got it propped up from a little fold-out chair. And I'm surprised it's actually stayed. Yeah, Doctor Strange stuck in that infinite time loop. It's Dormammu, I've come to bargain. It's like, shit. Why didn't he do that to Thanos? Because it'd have been like, Thanos, I've come to bargain. He'd be like, oh, fuck. I'd literally look back and be like, oh, no. Because he'd just be stuck in that infinite time loop, wouldn't he? And then it would never happen. He would have never snapped his fingers. The army would have never gone to Earth after Thanos wanted the stone from Earth. You hope it's Telltale Games like The Walking Dead or Kingdom Hearts. I am thinking of a Telltale Games playthrough at the same time, as I do have quite a lot of Telltale games. I'm missing one at the moment. The one that I'm missing is Back to the Future, because I've lent it to Monty Burns Wakey. Check out his channel as well, guys, if you haven't already. Me and him do a lot of collab videos, do Star Trek Online, GTA, Uncharted, things like that. So, where was I? Yeah, lost my train of thought. So let's just read some of these comments and move on. But yeah, as I was saying about the Telltale games, I probably will do them at some point. I will start a series on them. I will start from The Walking Dead, but I won't just do it all in one go. I will do it how they would do it as the TV series. I'll do it 1 episode a week. So that would drag it out. It would make it last longer. And I think it'd be really cool as well because you'd all be in suspense about, oh, what's he going to do next? you know, what's happening next? Even though you've all seen the game, a lot of people play it differently. So it's basically like seeing it from different eyes, seeing it from a different perspective. Because a lot of people who play these Telltale games, they play one episode, they play all the episodes themselves, obviously, and then they never come back to it. Because once you've 100%ed it, the only reason really to go back to it is, as I said, to play through it a different way, and a lot of people can't be bothered, so they don't do it. But moving on, my next game would be The Crew 2. Weirdly, I got The Crew 2, but I didn't get the first Crew game, so don't ask me why. But I've done a few videos on The Crew now. I've done a couple of road trips with the guys. I've done a Gator Rush grind. That's the new DLC that popped for that. Been thinking of doing another one because there's a couple of new cars and there's still a couple of events I haven't done. So let me know if you want to see that again. Unfortunately, though, to anyone that might be thinking about getting it, it is an all online game. It is just completely all online. It will not work unless you have Xbox Live or PlayStation Plus. It's a ridiculous way to make a game, but that is the way that developers are going with games these days. It's unfortunate, but as EA Games say, singular-based story games are dead, so a lot of developers are moving on to it. So let me read some of these comments. Yeah, that like Thanos said, he had the most powerful weapon, and he the Time Stone, and he never used it. Like he could have done exactly to Thanos what he did to Dormammu, and he didn't. I don't know why that didn't occur to the writers, because then they wouldn't have needed a second Avengers movie. It would have just ended there. Because Doctor Strange could have fought Thanos for eternity. Is that weird? Maybe. There might be a little bit in it. Might be a little bit. Yeah, I'm just going to come out. It's lemon haze. Nice new strain of lemon haze that I've come across. See, I don't like to dab it. I just like to smoke it. That's the last time I dabbed lemon haze, I threw up. So I'm not going to do that again. I think it's just because the more they use the Infinity Stones, the more the fabric of reality breaks. That's a good point, actually, Blazing. Yeah, I mean, I think you covered that in your last Flash video, didn't you? When Nora came back in time, how the timeline just completely shattered, and why Barry didn't travel to the future with her. To take her back, because the timeline's already shattered and the future she came from no longer exists. Paradox, as I said, complete paradox. So the next game, of course, is God of War. Now, I was doing a series on this for a while. I finished it I stopped doing it about a month ago. I got to the fight with Baldur, with the dead giant. And I was on the New Game Plus as well, so it was really difficult. I was doing it on the hardest difficulty, well, the second hardest difficulty. And I couldn't get past it, I'll be honest. That's why I never continued the stream, because I just kept dying and dying and dying. So I figured no one wants to watch just an hour-long stream of me just dying. Maybe all fat bastard style. I like Austin Powers. I have to watch that now. Yeah. Yeah, you've got me in the mood to watch Austin Powers now, actually. I'll behave. Yeah, so like you said there with Nora, she's basically created her own Flashpoint timeline, where she's basically come back in time to spend time with her father, but in doing so now, the future she created, the future she came from, no longer exists. So the whole Shui thing might disappear. We're not very Shui about that disappearing, are we, Blazing? Well, if you watch the latest Flash episode, Cisco can no longer vibe because he's supposedly meant to be dead. He's gone into hiding, so that new villain on the show can't take him down. Because when Nora came from, Cisco wasn't one of his prime targets, but now he is. So they've had to fake Cisco's death and just go along from there. Next series of games I have planned, well, I have to show you, are the Uncharted games. Can't show all three at once, so, you know. There we go. I love the Uncharted series. Naughty Dog are an excellent development team. However, when they did Lost Legacy, I felt like I was playing Tomb Raider. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the game. It did feel very Uncharted-y, but as I said, it just felt like Tomb Raider because you were playing as Chloe, and she basically is Tomb Raider. Bobo loves you. Yeah. To be honest, Legends has come off my watch list because I watched the more recent episode and they've lost yet another legend. They've lost the Steel Up guy, the historian dude. But that whole Bebo storyline when they came back to the future and it was like, Mary Bebo, like, Mary what? Bebo. And she's like, is that not how it's supposed to be? It's like, no. So they knew they'd fucked up time yet again. But that's why time travel just can't work. The paradoxes would just destroy everything. It's like Doctor Who. It goes back in time and saves people. It's just wrong. Those people were supposed to die. You can't go and save them. Like, traveling to the future as well. You can't travel to the future because it doesn't exist. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Do you guys know what's going to happen tomorrow? That's why the Flash traveling to the future is wrong, because the future isn't set yet. It's like tomorrow I could get hit by a truck, I could die. You know, I don't want that to happen. No one wants that to happen, but you know, that's a possible future. It could happen. We don't know the future. So that's why I don't agree with time travel in games and movies and TV shows. It's just off. So the next game I'm going to cover is sorry guys, Mafia 3. Again, I haven't finished Mafia. I did a video a couple of months ago on what happened to the franchise, because Mafia 1 and Mafia 2 were absolutely beautiful. I love the first Mafia game because you could actually put fuel in your car. And putting the fuel in your car just made it more realistic. I remember one time I had a decent car in the first Mafia game and it ran out of gas. So I got another car and pushed it down the road to the gas pump and got back in and filled it with gas. As you do. So if anyone's interested, I would continue my Mafia stream, maybe just 100% grind to the finish, because I must be close to the end of it now. I don't know how far I got through the story, but I'd be more than willing if anyone's interested, just let me know. Okay. Nate is Captain Steel. Yeah, that's his name, Nate. He's now working for the Time Bureau, so he has left the Wave Rider. He is no longer aboard the Wave Rider. He's settled down for a desk job to satisfy his father. But the latest episode showed a shapeshifter getting stuck as a Maya. So they've now brought, well, it's not physically her, but they've brought her character back. You know, they brought the person that played her back into the show, even though it's not physically her. So whether that brings Nate back, I don't know, because her and Nate were in love. I don't know. Exactly, yeah, that's what I was saying about my whole future thing. Even thinking about the future changes the future, so it's just completely random and off chances that. So yeah, my next series of games are the Watch Dogs series. So Watch Dogs 1 and 2. I loved the first Watch Dogs game, so again I got it on the PS4. Watch Dogs 2, however, wasn't a big fan. Didn't like how they changed the lead protagonist. I didn't like the way they went with the whole new way of gadgets and drones and whatnot. The first Watch Dogs was flawless, where you just pulled up your phone and disrupted everything as you were driving, as you were walking about and whatnot. But the second Watch Dogs, it seems like you can do too much at once, and there's just so much going on the map that you don't even know where the main missions are. That's why I didn't like it, because I'd drive somewhere that I thought was a main mission and it turned out to be an online challenge, which again really pissed me off, because it's Ubisoft, and Ubisoft are really like EA Games for going online with stuff. Is ridiculous. Watch Dogs doesn't need an online thing. It's basically just GTA. It's a GTA hacking game, is Watch Dogs, and it doesn't need online. Read back some of these comments before I continue. Well, yeah, he's still on the show. Obviously, Nate's still on the show, but he will make the odd cameo appearance, as you've just said, but he's not physically going to be a legend anymore. He's just going to make a couple of cameos, like appear now and again. You know, like those weird doorway portal things that they open to the Wave Rider. He will probably do that every so often. Yeah, that's probably why they've done that, to show more of the Time Bureau as well, because that's not really been covered well. We don't even know what happened to Rip. Where's Rip Hunter gone? Is it even Legends anymore without Rip Hunter? That's what drew me into watching it with Rip Hunter. Because I don't know if anyone's a Doctor Who fan, but as you know, in Doctor Who, Rip Hunter played Rory in Doctor Who. He was Amy's husband and the Doctor's companion. So basically, in Legends of Tomorrow, he became the Doctor. You know, he was on a time-traveling ship that was definitely bigger on the inside. So he became the new Doctor of the DC universe. That's just how I see it anyway. Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, as I've said on my previous live streams, I have an issue with Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, as I was saying through my Batman stream last night, you can go past a train on your horse to get a cool photo, maybe, but oh, guess what? You wanted. You've got to loot this house as a major story mission. Guess what? You wanted. Accidentally hit a guy because he walks out in front of you on your horse. Guess what? You're wanted. And there's a friend of mine who plays it on my PlayStation friends list, and he was telling me that he was just sat there on his horse while he went to make a coffee. He came back and he was getting shot at by coppers because he was wanted. It's like, well, it was just sat there. What's the problem? If you just sat there, why are you getting wanted if you just sat there? And he said he was an honourable reputation as well, so it wasn't exactly being the vigilante bad guy thing vibe that they've got going on in that game. Yeah, I'm a big fan of time travel shows. That's why I watch Doctor Who. Not so much anymore, but yeah, that's why I used to watch Doctor Who. And when I first saw his character come onto the Wave Rider, I was like, well, he's clearly accepted this role so he can be the Doctor. You know, he wants to be a time traveling hero again. So now we're on to the Telltale games. Bear in mind, as I said, I'm missing one because I've lent it to Monty Burns Wakey. So first off, Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, this is a game that's based separately from the movie universe. It doesn't feature any of the movie's voice casting. just because they didn't want to do it, because Telltale Games weren't willing to pay them for it. So they said no, obviously. So they got a whole new set of characters to do it, mostly recycled from The Walking Dead. And I've got to say as well, rest in peace, Telltale Games. We will all miss Telltale Games. I mean, the cliffhanger that was left on Guardians of the Galaxy did say that there could possibly be a new game, or that they were just ending it there. But my point is, if they wanted to continue the franchise, they could, or they could have done, because they've gone belly up, they're finished with. But the Walking Dead franchise for Telltale Games has been purchased by Scott Gimple. So that universe can now go anywhere, because he is in partnership with Skybound. And if they continue it after the final season, or if they do just some DLCs for the final season, that would be really cool. Because maybe they could do a prequel to it, perhaps, with a different character that we've seen, maybe a storyline on Lily. They could link it to the TV show based on Rick, because as we know, Rick's now left the series. So they could bring him into the games and kind of do a prequel show, well, a prequel game to him trying to find his family. Because we saw from the pilot episode, yes, he was looking for his family, he went here, there, and everywhere. But we didn't see the full journey from King County to where he actually found them. We only saw a few stops along the way. So it'd be really cool if they did a story based on that, because now Scott Gimple owns it. He could go anywhere with it. He could do what I've just said, or he could bring the characters from the game into the TV series, because there's now been a 6-year time jump in the TV series, which would line up with the final season of The Walking Dead game. Because I think that did take a major time skip after season 3, The Final Frontier. So it would add up if he wanted to add those characters into the series. They could do a prequel on how Clementine found AJ. Yeah, that'd be really cool, actually, because we don't actually know if Clementine is going to die. I mean, it is probably going to happen. She is probably going to die, because they said the final season, but it's supposed to be Clementine's final season, her final journey. So if they did a prequel to that with her leaving the New Frontier and going to find AJ, that could still continue her story. And if they got the original voice actor back for her, that would be really cool as well, because she was devastated when Telltale Games went under, which I'm guessing means that she had future projects planned. Maybe she was going to be in The Wolf Among Us 2, which now isn't going to happen at all, which I'm pissed about, because I had that on the PS3 as well. But I could debate for hours about Telltale Games. I'm going to talk about the Telltale Games that I have. But we're just going to keep on this subject while I read these comments. Yeah. That goes back to what I was saying about Scott Gimple and the time jump from The Walking Dead show since Rick left. Andrew Lincoln, obviously. He could completely wipe out what happened from the final season of the game and bring Clementine into the series. Like, he could cast a girl that looks just like Clementine, because there are a couple of lookalikes out there. It's crazy how many of these young lasses, young girls do cosplays of Clementine, and they actually look like her. So if he managed to find the right actress for the role, then he could bring Clementine seriously into that story. Maybe she could befriend Judith, or she could save Judith while she's out and about. And obviously AJ would be with her as well. Anyone can play AJ. I mean, because if it's years later, they can cast anybody as AJ. I mean, that's just simple physics. I also can't wait for this week's episode of The Walking Dead. I want to see how the show's going to go without Rick Grimes. We know he's not dead. We all saw the last episode. He's not dead. Which I think was a bit of a dick move on their behalf, actually, because Andrew Lincoln has said, and he has quoted this, "I am not returning to the series." He said that on The Talking Dead. He said, "I am not returning to the series." And then Scott Gimple dropped that they're making movies about him. So we all love Andrew Lincoln. We all thank him for his service to The Walking Dead and what like joy he's brought us over the past near enough 10 years. But for him to say, oh yeah, I'm leaving the show, but I'm going to do some movies. It's all about this, isn't it? It's all about the money. He said he was leaving the show to spend more time with his family, and the show films over what, 6 or 7 months out of the year? And a movie can be filming for years on end. A movie can film for at least 3 years. If they haven't got the right production teams, if they haven't got the script right, it can film for up to 3 years. Now, if he's committed to that, then why can't he commit to 6 or 7 months filming in Atlanta for the show? Doesn't make much sense. Well, I don't think they would bring AJ or Clem into the main show. I mean, I want them to, but I don't think they will. What I think they would do is latch them over to Fear the Walking Dead, and then later down the timeline, the Fear the Walking Dead cast would join the main Walking Dead show. Because you've got to think, if there's been a 6-year time jump on the main Walking Dead show, then there's got to have been a 6-year time jump on the Fear the Walking Dead show, which we won't know until February, until Fear the Walking Dead returns. Yeah, like you say, it is a grey area for Andrew Lincoln's departure, because he left in that helicopter, which me and you have talked about before, Blaze, and it was a nice callback to season 1 when he first saw that Black Hawk going across the city of Atlanta. It was a nice little callback. They even used the same music from when he was trapped in the tank when Glenn first called him up, so that was really cool. But I'm moving off topic, moving off the gaming scene and onto more personal favourite matters. Let's read a few comments before I shift on. Yeah, that's the thing, because what I think they're going to do with the movies of Rick Grimes, I think he's going to have lost his memory, because when he got in the helicopter, he seemed oblivious to what was around him. He didn't seem to know Jadis. He didn't seem to say anything. He didn't seem to look at her like, where am I? Or like, who are you? He just sat there like, like looking around like he didn't know where he was or what he was doing. So I think if they're going to go down the movie lines, he's going to just completely forget Alexandria, Carl, Judith, Michonne, and all that lot. And they're just going to create a whole new storyline based on that. Because they have said it's going to be done in a trilogy, so that's 3 movies. So it can go anywhere, really. It's an endless possibility of things to do with that. If they do merge the 2 shows together, so Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead, then they will probably do it at some point in the next year or so. So we're on season 9 of The Walking Dead now. So they'll probably do it on season 10, season 11, just to match up the time frames, because at the end of the last Fear the Walking Dead series, Morgan and his crew, they went to this sort of old jeans factory and started doing that whole thing with all the trucks and whatnot, just leaving the boxes on the side of the road. So I think they're going to go down that storyline for the next 6 years, or the 6-year time jump anyway. And then Morgan might decide to go back. And then, it'll link them all up, and then they might see Clementine, they might see AJ. Depends how Scott Gimple goes with it, because Scott Gimple doesn't really know much about games, let's be honest. He did help them through creating the Telltale Walking Dead games. However, he didn't really have much say in the matter. He was just moral support, really. Moral support. Yeah, at the end of the last Fear the Walking Dead episode, there was that time skip, which coincides with the new time skip on the Walking Dead show. But at that point, we didn't know that Andrew Lincoln was leaving as Rick Grimes. So we would all think that after all that time, Morgan would think, you know what? I've been doing this for years now. It's time to go home. And you guys are coming with me. For 6 years, come on, it's plenty of time to get to know someone. He was going to take them with him during the season of Fear the Walking Dead anyway. That's what he was walking about for, because he's saying, oh, I'm heading back east. But yes, moving on. We have the more Telltale games, the Batman series. I love all things Batman. I cannot get enough of Batman. I've loved Batman as much as Spider-Man since I was a kid. I grew up watching the original Batman animated series and the original Spider-Man series back in the 90s. Love them both. They were both on back-to-back, side-by-side to each other. So you can't really not watch, can you? Completed them both. Love them both. But obviously with the end of Telltale Games, what's going to happen? Because the enemy within was left on another climax that seems like it's not going to be completed. And it's just like, damn, you know, end of an era. I don't know. Maybe DC will take it up. Maybe Rocksteady, because we all know that there's rumors of a new Arkham Universe game coming in the future. So maybe Rocksteady will expand on the ending from Enemy Within and put it into their game. Quite possible, but we don't know, because it'd be really hard to put an episodic game into a full game. You've just got to think of the consequences that would ensue for them. Morgan's character, Morgan does not get close to people. He got close to Nick and Nick died. Yeah, that's the thing about Morgan. When he was going through his whole clear stage, which was like an hour-long episode with a goat, and then you've got to think that Rick, when he left, only got a 45-minute episode. It's like, okay, so Morgan's more important than Rick. All right then, we'll give you that one, AMC. Not. You've got to think about it in terms of money and screenwriting and way they're getting viewers, because the way that they're doing it and the way that they made Rick exit the show was just for this. It was for viewers and money. It's a big monetizing scheme. For months they were saying, "Oh, Rick's leaving, Rick's dying," and then suddenly he doesn't die. It's like, well, if he's not dead, what's happening? What are you doing? Same with Morgan. When he left the show and went on to Fear the Walking Dead, he was sort of going through his whole clear's not clear stage. And, you know, they brought that into Fear when he met John. And, you know, then he started saying, "Oh, I can't get close to people because they die." And then, as you say, Blaze and Nick died. Yeah, we can go on for hours about The Walking Dead and The Flash and time travel and stuff. So, if you don't mind, Blaze, I'm gonna move ahead. I'm gonna go back to my Batman Telltale Games topic. The way I see it with The Enemy Within, because it was a fantastic game. The first one was fantastic as well. I loved how they introduced the Joker. Wasn't fond of how they killed the Riddler. It's like the Riddler shows up for a moment and then, oh, he's dead. Okay then. But yeah, the point is Rocksteady could expand on that, because, as I've said in numerous of my Arkham streams and one of my previous videos, Rocksteady are going to announce a new game next year, and it is possible that it's going to be an Arkham Universe game. Trapped in an infinite loop about The Walking Dead. We could be. I probably would be. My next topic, we are going to be trapped in an infinite loop. But with the Batman Telltale series, Enemy Within, as I've said, it was left on a huge climax. And the climax of which led us to believe that there was going to be another game, because Enemy Within was out last year. So we knew nothing. We knew Telltale Games was in trouble. We knew they were in trouble financially because they didn't do so well in the following year. But we didn't know they were going to be shutting down completely. So we all expected another game, at least one more anyway. And the fact that they're just not going to bother finishing it, that Skybound have actually said that no, they're not going to continue the Batman series, does make me think that Rocksteady will expand on it. That, as I've said as well, it would be difficult for them to make an episodic game of 5 episodes into a full open world game, because Batman does, the Telltale version does have a little open world aspect. You know, you explore the Batcave, you explore Wayne Manor, you explore the areas around you, But other than that, you don't, get a full open world like Arkham City or Arkham Knight. So I think it would be really difficult for them to do that, just in terms of it being episodic. It would be hard to put it into a full story, if you know what I mean, guys. So moving on then, on to the topic at hand. Walking Dead, and Walking Dead. I would be more than happy, more than privileged to replay these games again for you guys. I've got a couple of Telltale games saved on my hard drive on the PlayStation. I will move around and tell you about them in a moment. But I love Clementine's story. She's basically, how to put it? I mean, she's a great character. She's a great person, and you actually feel like you're getting to know this character over the years. You feel like you're a part of the story because you're controlling her actions. Apart from season 3, but let's forget season 3 ever happened because I really don't like the Javier people. Ugh, season 3 was just a drag. I mean, really. But still, Clementine was in season 3, and even though you didn't physically play as her, you still had the choices to side with her and be with her, and you saw what kind of person she'd become after season 2 left off. Because season 2, she was, I think after season 1, it was about 12 months, maybe 14 months after the first game, so she wasn't much older. She was close to her teenage years, because she was 9 in the first game. So it would make her 10 or 11 in season 2. And then season 3 had that massive time skip where she was in her teenage years. She was about 14, 15, because I remember her talking about to Harvey's girlfriend about blood coming out. No, she was talking to Harvey about it, wasn't she, in that hospital building? She's talking about blood coming out, and Harvey's like, oh, that's something you should talk to a girl about. But yeah, that would be my pick, either The Walking Dead or the next series, Kingdom Hearts, for a fresh game. Yeah, that is probably why Skybound won't focus on Batman, as I've said, because Rocksteady may be taking it on. But as I've also said, it would be very, very difficult for them to put an episodic game into a full game. But maybe they'll use some of the script, maybe they'll use some of the story ideas to incorporate it into a full open world game. We just don't know until E3 next year. All we know is it's been leaked that it's called Arkham Universe. So it's more than likely going to be set before Arkham Knight. And if it is set after Arkham Knight, they'll probably just delete Arkham Knight from the timeline and say, oh, that was a different timeline. You know what DC's like for different timelines. So they could go down that road. We don't know. Could even be an alternate universe. Pick The Walking Dead for the next series, or Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Like, if I do The Walking Dead as a game series, I would do 1 episode a week. Like the TV series does, 1 episode a week to drag it out, make it last longer, so I've got other videos to do along the way, just so you guys can get anticipated for what's going to come next. So you can talk to me on my streams like, what are you going to do next? What's going to happen next? What are you going to do? I want to see it. I want to see it. So then it'll get me a lot of feedback. It'll get me a lot of attention. And it's something that you guys can enjoy as well. It's something for you to look forward to on the channel. That's why I'm doing this sort of Q&A, Ask Me Anything video, just so you can get to know me a bit better and so I can get to know you guys a bit better. But yeah, I'd be more than happy to do it. Because I created this channel for the benefit of you guys, as well as myself, because I love gaming and I just want to share it with all of you. And Kingdom Hearts, yeah, I'm definitely thinking about getting it, to be honest. I've watched a couple of your playthroughs on it, Blazon. I must say it does look quite good. I've seen a couple of other YouTubers playing through it. It does look quite brilliant, to be fair. And I'm not much of a Disney fan, and I've stated that numerous times throughout my streams that I really do not like Disney at all anymore. As a kid growing up, yeah, loved Disney, Hercules, Mulan, things like that, loved it. But now, since they've decided to buy out practically all of Hollywood studios, it's like, we might as well be living on Planet Disney. We're all going to be wearing mouse ears in the next 5 years. It's like, kill me now. I don't want to. I don't want to be going to prison for not wearing some mouse ears. Her birthday was at the end of the season, so I think she was 11. No, at the end of season 1, that guy that took her said he had her parents. Asked Lee how old she was, and Lee said she's 8. And that guy goes, wrong, she's 9. And he's like, what? No, she's not. And he goes, yeah, her birthday was last week. So so at the end of season 1, she was 9. So I'm guessing at the start of season 2, she was about 10 or 11. Not much of a time skip because she didn't look much older. I mean, she could have even just been 10 because she didn't really look much older at all. So I could talk about these Walking Dead games for a very long time. If I'm honest, we would be here until next week with me talking about these games because I love Clementine as a character. I love the series. And I can't get over what Telltale Games did with her. And then they just decide to end it and then near enough not finish her story because they went out of business. I did numerous videos on that because I was very cheesed off, even though I didn't even own the game yet. Because what I've done is, because I've got all the games as physical disc copies rather than digital, I was waiting for this one to come out as a disc copy so I could complete the collection because I'm a bit OCD like that, guys. I've got to have the collection with me. Say the Batman games, for example. I got them all on the PS3, Origins, City, and Asylum. So when they came out on the PS4, I had to get them again, just for the sake of, because I had Arkham Knight, I needed Arkham City and Arkham Asylum on the PS4, if that makes any sense to you. So Disney's tolerable in the game. They haven't messed around with anything in Kingdom Hearts then. They don't force it upon you. They don't rub it in your face that this is theirs and that's theirs. Because from what I heard from the next Kingdom Hearts game, Deadpool's actually going to be in it. And it is going to be voiced by Ryan Reynolds. Because Ryan Reynolds wants to do everything Deadpool related now. Yeah, she was 8 when Lee found her. But towards the end of the series, she had her birthday and she turned 9. It is highly contagious. It is very contagious. I mean, every day when I'm coming to do a playthrough on YouTube, I'm always looking at the Telltale games. I'm always looking back at them like, should I do it? And then I think to myself, well, I need to prepare myself. And plus, I want to get season 4, like the completed season 4 game, before I do The Walking Dead, because I don't want to finish The Walking Dead games and then have only 2 or 3 episodes of the final season and then have to wait for the final episode. That's strong. Yeah, that's a point actually, because Disney now own the rights to Star Wars as well. Why George Lucas did that, I will never know. I mean, George Lucas himself has said he regrets it, but he's never getting it back now. Disney will never sell it back to him, and if they do, they will sell it back to him at quadruple the price that he sold it to them, because Disney, they're all about this, of course, opening multiple theme parks around the world. There's even one coming to the UK, down in London. well, near London, anyway. But if they do include that in the next Kingdom Hearts game, then are they going to have toy lightsabers? Real lightsabers? Are they going to be like just toys that come out and they're like, what's that supposed to be? You know, because Disney aren't all up on the whole violence and mutilation of things, are they? So they're not exactly Deadpool with his swords where he cuts off people's arms, which unfortunately with the PG-13 version of Deadpool is going to be removed. So just bear with me a second, guys. I'm just going to grab a drink. There we go. So that pretty much covers all of my physical copies of games that I can play and stream. I mean, I do have, as I said, Back to the Future as a Telltale game, but I have lent it to Monty Burns Wakey because we both love the Back to the Future movies. We're both movie buffs, and he'd never played the game. He never got it on the PS3. So when I got it on the PS4, he was like, do you mind letting me borrow it when you finished it? Chat keeps disappearing. Sorry, guys. Don't want to be in your face. That would make it way too easy. That doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, when I played the first Kingdom Hearts game, I did find it quite difficult, I'll be honest. I finished it, I did enjoy it, but I couldn't bring myself to get any of the others because that's when I started disliking Disney, because that's when they bought out Marvel back in 2009. And it was a bad case of, oh, I don't want this anymore. They're putting Marvel characters with Disney characters, like they're having Captain America socialize with Goofy. And you can't have that. You can't do that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to find my PlayStation controller and tell you what games I have downloaded onto my system, so I can just talk to you about those. I do have another Telltale game downloaded on the system. Actually, it's Game of Thrones. Still in the middle of playing that. But once I've gone through those, you can let me know if you want me to do a stream on any of them. I appreciate any suggestions. I mean, Blazon's given me Kingdom Hearts, which I'm seriously considering getting. Damien said Outlast, which again I'm considering as well. So just bear with me, I'll get my PlayStation pad. Oh, why can you never find it when you want it? It's as big as a bloody ashtray and I can't find it. There we go. Okay. So downloads, I have Tales from the Borderlands, which again was another Telltale Games. Absolutely loved it. I wasn't a fan of the main Borderlands series, just because it was first person, and as I've said, I'm not a big fan of first person games, unless it's Time Splitters. If they brought back Time Splitters, I would so love to replay Time Splitters. I still play it on the PS2, I've still got all three on the PS2, and I still play them now and again. They are brilliant games, they're fantastic. I am Groot, what's up? Thanks for stopping by, appreciate it. This is just a Q&A stream, just get to know me, get to know you sort of thing. Get to know what games I've got, what games you want me to stream, what games I'd like to do in future and whatnot. So if you've got any suggestions, let me know. If it's in my power, I will upload it. Just talking about, at the minute, Telltale Games, how I'm going to be doing a series on those at some point. How with each episode, I'll be doing one episode a week. I'm on Tales from the Borderlands at the moment. Basically, as I was just saying, I didn't enjoy the main games just because I couldn't get into them. Yeah, I did get the first one, completed it, played it. Didn't think much to it in the way of story. Seemed a bit repetitive. I did enjoy the open world though. That was quite fun. But Tales from the Borderlands really hit me. Really got me wanting to play the first Borderlands game again. Because I loved the characters. I loved how you could choose to be a complete dick, or you could just be yourself. You know, you could say what you think you would say if you were that person, basically. That's why I love episodic games, because they put choices in what most people would actually say in that situation. Like, say, in the Walking Dead games, for example, with Lee and Larry, you can say he's an old racist asshole, which most people would probably say because he is a racist asshole, right? I definitely said that on my choice anyway. Moving on, where is it? Yeah, to Game of Thrones. I have been playing through Game of Thrones. I've not long got it because I didn't actually know Telltale Games did a game on Game of Thrones. I love the series of Game of Thrones. I've just finished watching the final season. Well, it was the final season until they decided to bring out another season, but yeah. Anyway, I love the game. It's so much like the series. I mean, nobody is safe. It's same as the series. Nobody is safe. House Forrester, most of the characters from House Forrester die on the second episode. I don't want to drop any spoilers for anyone that's not played it, so I'm not going to go into too much detail on it. But there's this one scene where you're playing as the Lord of House Forrester. He's a kid, he's about 9 years old. And you stand up to this other Lord that comes in, he's like twice his age. This Lord wants you to kiss his boot as a sign of respect, and you've got a choice to kiss his boot or do nothing. I did nothing, which in turn led to getting a knife stuck through my throat, which is something that would happen in the series, and I really love that. It was like an, oh my god, you just killed a kid moment, you know? Like in the first opening episodes of Game of Thrones, there's that kid that climbs up the castle, and he sees the queen and her brother shagging in the tower, and the brother goes, so how old are you? He's like, oh, I'm 9. It's like, only 9 years old. Oh, the things I do for love. Then just pushes him out the tower. It's like, he didn't kill him, but, you know, he paralyzed him. But still, same thing applies. There's still kids that die in Game of Thrones. It's one of those big things. The next one I'm going to cover, of course, as I've said, Monty Burns Wakey has it at the moment. If you guys haven't already, do check out Monty's channel. We do collab videos on Grand Theft Auto. We did one the other day. We do Crew 2. We do Uncharted. We play Uncharted online every so often. So yeah, if you want to check his channel out, feel free. He doesn't upload much because he usually does things with me, but he would still appreciate any love he could give. But yeah, it's Back to the Future. I knew that they did this because I had it on the PS3, and it felt so much like a Back to the Future 4. It felt like a fourth movie. Like, I felt like, because you can watch all 3 movies, and it is when the game starts up, it is actually canon to the final ending of the final movie. You know, when Marty gets back from the 1800s and that big ass train appears, it's canon from the ending of that. Like, you know, Doc's gone, they're selling off all his stuff in the game, and Marty's there like, you can't do this, you can't sell it off, Doc's coming back, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, this DeLorean appears out of nowhere from an alternate timeline. So it's like, even though Marty believed the DeLorean was destroyed because, you know, it was crashed into by a train at the end of the last movie, we're all thinking, where's this new DeLorean come from? And then it's made clear later on in the series, in the game series, that it's come from an alternate timeline. Doc explains it, and it all just goes wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. Doctor Who reference there for you guys. But if anyone wants to see me do that when I get it back, I will. It will probably be the last one in the series that I do, because I'll have to wait for Monty to give me it back for him to finish it. but I'll be more than happy to do it. Be more than happy to do the whole Telltale series. As I've said, I will do only one episode a week per game, just to make it canon to sort of like TV episodes. So like you guys can just be in suspense about what's going to come next, like what choices I'm going to make, about where the game's going to go. If you haven't seen the game as well, it'd be really interesting for you to just think about it as like waiting for a next episode of like The Flash or something like that. And speaking of The Flash, that's not coming back until the 24th of November. It was stopped this week because of the general elections, so I can't blame them for that, to be honest. But yeah, moving on to my next downloadable games. This was a really strange one. It was a first-person game, but I did enjoy it. It's called Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. Now, I don't know if any of you guys have heard about it, but it's based in a British town called Somerset, and basically you're playing as this one guy, and you're going through the town. You're finding like ghost images of people, and you've got to follow these ghost images to find out what happened to them. And basically, yeah, the hint is in the name of the game, the Rapture. Everybody was raptured. And you've got to work your way across this vast open world to find out what happened to everybody. And you don't actually find out until the general end of the game. And it's a really cool game that I would love to replay, and I'd love to share it with you guys. So if you've never heard of it and you want to see what it's like, just don't hesitate to let me know in the comments, or after the stream's finished. If you're watching it at this point, just let me know, because I would really like to play through that again and just show you guys what it was really like. And yeah, I'm quite salted that The Flash isn't coming back this week or next week as well. But I'm guessing that they're doing it so they can show Arrow and Legends and make them catch up with that timeline, so they can link them in with that whole crossover thing that's coming in December, possibly. Sai, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. This is just basically a stream for my channel to get to know everybody, so you can get to know me and what games I've got and what games I can upload and can't upload, and can stream and can't stream. Next one, we have Saints Row Get Out of Hell. Absolutely love the Saints Row series. Giant dildo guns for the win, right guys? Giant dildo guns. Get Out of Hell was shorter than the initial Saints Row games, but it was still a great game. You had multiple different endings. I think there was like 5 different endings, so it so much replay value as well. It's a bit dodgy because you do get all the powers that you got from Saints Row 4, which I thought was a bit weird because there was just a crazy pissed off alien that decided to blow up the world for no reason. Sai, thanks for the sub, appreciate it. When the stream's finished, I will sub back. I always sub back to new subscribers. We're all friends on YouTube, we're all a big family, so we've all got to support each other, right? The next one I have, and this is coming into PlayStation Plus territory now, from the PlayStation Plus games that you get for free. I've got Tabletop Racing, which, if I'm honest, it reminds me of the old Micro Machines game. Because I'm a retro gamer as well. I had a Mega Drive. I don't know if any of my viewers watching or any of my subscribers actually had a Mega Drive or played a Mega Drive or even know what a Mega Drive is. But Micro Machines on the Mega Drive, you basically had this sort of bird's eye view style thing, because back then it was harder to program 3D, like 3D worlds in person, like where you could physically be down there. So they did it bird's eye view to make it cheaper to produce. And you just go around all these little tables and race all these NPCs. And there was this cool thing called Terry's Driving School as well. Micro Machines was one of the best games like ever made, I've got to admit. And Tabletop Racing really does feel like you're back in that world. But it's not bird's eye view. You're sort of in a third person look where you feel like you're actually driving the car, like GTA, for example. You get all these cool power-ups, you get boosts, rockets, like you did in the Micro Machines games, just to slow the other racers down so you can get the advantage. There's different events, there's drifting, there's time trials, there's stop the bomb going off, things like that. So if anybody wants to see me do that, feel free to let me know. Because it's not like any other game where you have to start again just to do it. I can just replay any of the events anytime I want. So I'd be more than happy to do that. The next game I have on my list is Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Now, Direct Virus is wanting to do a stream on this. If you guys haven't already, check out his channel as well. He's on the gaming side of things. He's also my cousin, so I'm just supporting him for family reasons. But yeah, he would appreciate any love and support you could give on that as well. But Deus Ex, I didn't get very far because once again, it's a first-person game. And as I said through this stream and through any other streams, I'm not much of a fan of first-person games. I feel that first-person isn't needed in a game unless you're playing VR. Because VR for first-person is brilliant because you feel like you're the character. But when it's an actual game and you're getting shot at or you're getting punched in the face in first-person, the camera's all over the place, the screen goes blurry, and you feel like you just feel nauseated, really, because there's nothing there. And it gives you the option to customize your character in games like that as well. It's like, you're never going to see the character. Why would you want to customize it? It's a first-person game. If you're going to put character customizations in, don't make it a first-person game. Yeah, I used to play Skyrim a long time ago, though, back on the PS3. Not much of a fan, to be honest. I mean, I played Oblivion on the Xbox over at a friend's house when I was staying at a friend's for a couple of months. That's before I had my own little flat, own little apartment. And I did quite enjoy Oblivion. But then when I went back to playing Skyrim at the time, because I was playing Skyrim at the same time, they felt exactly the same, except Skyrim was, first person and Oblivion was third person, which was what differed them, which was what made me prefer Oblivion to Skyrim. But it was virtually the same, both set in medieval times-ish, both going on random quests. You can get killed whilst you're doing said quest, and agreeing to duels and fights and whatnot with other players. Back then it was mostly like singular story based because they didn't have many servers to put them online. So if you went online, it was just mostly for fighting and battle royales, really, which again I don't really like. Oh, you've got the option of being in first person on Skyrim. I didn't know that. When I played Skyrim, it was just came in on first person and didn't know you could change it. I played it for a little bit. I think I remember going through a cave, coming out of a cave. Then I spoke to this dude, went walking up a path and got to a house, and then I stopped playing it because I just couldn't deal with the first person vibe. I was playing them simultaneously because while I was staying at my friend's, I had my PlayStation 3 at his, and he had Oblivion, so whenever he was out, I would play his Xbox, and then when he came back, I would go up to my room and I would play my PS3, and then I would switch to Skyrim, so I suppose I was a bit mixed between the two worlds, really. That's probably why. Oh, well, I've still got it on the PS3, so I'll go back to it and have a look, I suppose. Because if you can switch to third person, then it might be worth playing. Anywho, moving on to the next game. Once I've finished talking about these games, by the way, I will talk to you guys for a little bit, just so you can get to know me once again, so I can get to know you as well. And then I'll be ending the stream because it's been nearly 2 hours, and I still want to do a Arkham Knight stream. I'll be doing that about 3 hours after this stream. But I do need something to eat, so, going out to eat tonight. So that's why I say about 3 hours after this one's done. So yeah, the next one on my list is Killing Floor 2. This was another PS Plus download. Got it for free, can't complain. Another zombie first-person thing, but it's not so bad, I suppose. I mean, because you've got all these zombies coming at you, but you can seal the doors up. You've got loads of different combo weapons, loads of different weapons to choose from. And as one of my friends would say, grenade gun save lives. I don't know why that was so hysterical, but there's a grenade gun in the game. And my friend was here playing it with me, and he got the grenade gun. And when he was shooting people, he was shooting the zombies with the grenade gun, and he's surrounded by zombies, and he just comes out with grenade gun save lives. It was just super hilarious the way he said it. It was like grenade gun save lives. But yeah, I'll be more than happy to stream that as well. I think I've done a video on it before on my channel. I did 15 minutes on extreme difficulty. It was one of my first ever uploads. Yeah, it was one of my first ever uploads, and it's miles down the line. So another PS Plus free game that I got was Metal Gear Solid: The Phantom Pain. Played this for quite a while, because I did enjoy the fact that you could go around and listen to the songs that were in the game, because it had "Take on Me" in the game. Because I heard it on a radio while I was taking out a settlement, and I just heard "Take on Me." It was like, it can't be. So I went over to the radio and picked up the tape, and it's like, you can now listen to this through the game. It was like, what? It's got loads of cool songs on it as well. So it's cool that you don't have to play your own playlist in the background. That it's got some well-known songs in the game. The next one is Ratchet and Clank. I did attempt to do a series on this before I had the capability to live stream, but it got 5 views. So I didn't continue that. I actually deleted the video because it only got 5 views and no feedback, no comments, no likes. I think 2 of the views were me actually watching it back and showing people my channel at the time. So you can see why I didn't continue that. But it was a great game. It followed on from the Ratchet and Clank movie. So it wasn't too bad. I mean, movie-based games rarely do well. But in this case, it definitely worked. You attempted to play Ratchet and Clank, but its block scenes was just too much every scene. So basically it's not worth playing it then. It's not worth streaming it because it's just going to block pretty much every scene out. I suppose that does make sense because it is a movie game, so that the company that made the movie is trying to like protect their copyright grounds on it, because all the cutscenes in the game are from the movie. So yeah, I suppose it does make a little bit of sense. Yeah, I love how it's told from Cork's perspective. It's like the movie takes place, and obviously it's just all the way through we see what happens, but the game, it takes place like in between the events of the movie, what leads them up to get in there in the movie, and it's told from Cork's perspective, and it really is a cool take on it. It really is quite cool how they actually incorporated it into the game and they made it work. The movie itself, I think it was about an hour and 20 minutes long or so. And the game, if you play it, if you drag it out, it can be at least 3-4 hours worth of gameplay. Or if you're looking for any of the collectibles in the game, it can be at least 6-7 hours. So it's really cool. It's really worth playing. Yeah, I love that scene. How I was telling that story. The next game I want to cover now. This one I can't do unless I've got another player. So if anyone's willing for a collab video, hit me up on PlayStation Network, Smeghead2010, no caps, no spaces. It is A Way Out. And if you bear with me, I will actually write that in the comments, if it lets me. No, it won't let me put it in the comments. Right, so what I'll do is I'll put it in the description at the end of the video. So you can just hit me up and let me know. So the game is A Way Out. I played this with Monty Burns Wakey, but we decided not to stream it, just so we could get a feel for it, so we could see what it was like. And it was a fourth wall break, was this game. It sort of brought back the whole split screen vibe days, the old retro split screen gaming days. And I absolutely loved it. And I'm not gonna drop any spoilers for the game, but basically you play as these 2 characters. They're both going to prison. They're both meet each other in prison, they befriend each other, and they decide to escape with one another. And then plot twist at the end, as always, one of them betrays the other, and so on and so forth. But as I said, I need a second player to play it. So if anyone's willing to do a collab video, let me know. Hit me up on PlayStation. I will leave my PS ID in the description when the video's finished. So just let me know. The next one is Heavy Rain. I have done Heavy Rain before. Blazon knows this. Times of crisis, Blazon, he decided to go for a piss, right? Every time there was a crisis moment, he went for a piss. We remember that well. That's going to be a joke that outlives this channel. The one next is Beyond Two Souls. Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls, they were both PS Plus games to download. Yeah, that Heavy Rain inside joke. I'm sure anyone who tuned into those streams that might be watching now knows exactly what we were talking about. But Beyond Two Souls was fantastic. Beautiful cast. Ellen Page, William Dafoe. You cannot go wrong. Anything that William Dafoe is in, you just see him as Green Goblin. You just think, well, that's Norman Osborn right there. You know? But it was a beautiful game. I absolutely adored it. Just the way that at the end you find out. I mean, I'm not exactly dropping spoilers for this because the game's been out for years now. But at the end, it turns out that the little ghost thing or the spirit thing that was attached to the character turned out to be her twin. It was her twin that never left her, that died at birth, but never left her. It stayed with her as a spirit. So I really enjoyed how that turned out and how that went. And it has multiple endings as well. It's got about 5 different endings, much like Heavy Rain. When I did my playthrough, I got the bad ending. Where everybody died, I got the bad ending. So I'll have to play through that again at some point. But I'd be more than happy to stream these 2 games simultaneously if anyone wants me to. I mean, yes, I've already streamed Heavy Rain, but I'd be more than happy to do it again. Next we have South Park: The Stick of Truth, which I got for free after I purchased this one. I got the pre-order from Fractured Butthole. And I was waiting on that pre-order for Fractured Butthole for 3 years. 3 years I waited for that pre-order. 3 years. Because they just kept postponing and postponing the game. But I would be more than happy to stream Stick of Truth and then do Fractured Butthole. Because Stick of Truth was just super hilarious, especially in the abortion clinic. And as far as I know, the only blocked scenes in Stick of Truth, because I'm in Europe and mine's a European game, the blocked scenes are in the spaceship and in the abortion clinic. It's where you're getting anal probed in the spaceship and you're getting an abortion in the abortion clinic. They've done worse things on the show, so I really don't know why it was blocked in the game. But if I stream it, you'll see why. It's basically just a guy sat there like this. You get some dodgy music in the background, and then there's the European flag behind that guy. So WTF to that, guys. I've done God of War 3 because I've I uploaded all the cutscenes to God of War 3 on my channel. I played God of War 3 on its own and figured, well, I'll just upload all the cutscenes. It's better than playing through it, because I was playing through God of War at the time. So I didn't want to start God of War 3 because that would just be really confusing and conflicting if I did the 3rd one and then the next day I streamed God of War, the new one. Like, well, you're kind of conflicting the games here. What, you know, we're a bit confused, sort of deal. Next we have Star Trek Online. Monty Burns Wakey and I do collab videos on this a lot. But we need more players. We're in need of more players. We are in a fleet. The fleet is called Chimera. We're just looking for players so we can do the missions, so we can do the battles, so we can swap resources. We've gotten a couple of players into it ourselves, and we've helped them out. We've sent them stuff, managed to get them leveled up, help them with the missions and whatnot. It is basically Star Trek Online. It is basically just, if you're into Star Trek and sci-fi and whatnot, it's just a massively extended Star Trek movie. Like, there's so many different episodes in the game, I think at the moment now there's I don't know, because they do it in sort of series, and you get 10 episodes per series, and you also get a featured episode per week, which is the featured episode kind of takes you back in time to the series, and you play something similar to what happened in the series, or it could be something different, something that happens later on that we just didn't see from the series. But once again, I will leave my PlayStation ID in the description in case any of you guys want to see that. I want to check it out. Me and Monty would be appreciated, and we would help you out, of course. And the next two, again, I'm going to need more players for this, because another friend of mine, Smexy Llama, and Direct Virus, we play both these games, and we just need more players just to even it out a bit. We have Dead by Daylight and Friday the 13th. Both were free on PS Plus. Friday the 13th more recently. Friday the 13th was last month, and we are looking for more players. I will give, if you add me on PSN and you end up in my stream, I will give you a shout out. We'll talk to you through the stream as well. So yeah, basically that's all that covers it for the games I have available and all the games I can play. Just Channel, hey, what's up? Thanks for stopping by, I appreciate it. Don't hesitate to let me know in the comments what you guys want me to do. Whether you're tuning in now and you've got any suggestions for me, or you're tuning in after the stream's finished and you've got any suggestions for me, I would appreciate anything you guys can tell me or can give me ideas on. I am starting a new series on Saturday. I'm not going to tell you what it is, I'm just going to drop it on you. Drop it like a bomb. Blazon's giving me the idea for Kingdom Hearts, so I'm really thinking about getting that and getting into that. Damien Bartlett suggested I play Outlast, which has been on my to-do list for quite a while. I've just never gotten around to it. I'm going to be streaming for about another 10 minutes because later on tonight I want to do another Batman Arkham Knight stream. So if you guys are interested, do check that out. I've been streaming the Arkham series since Arkham Asylum on Return to Arkham. Because of the rumoured new Batman game coming out next year, well, being announced next year. Just Channel, the windows are dark because I'm probably in a different time zone. It is 6:10 where I am. I don't live in a well-lit up area. My apartment's down a back street with a set of number of different apartments behind me as well, so they block the light from the street that comes over, so it gets quite dark around here at night. So what I'm wanting to do now for the last couple of minutes is just get to know you guys as well. You've gotten to know me a little bit through this stream. You've gotten to know what games I've got. You've gotten to know what games I play. You've gotten to know what movies I like, what movies I don't like. Yeah, just don't hesitate to let me know. I would appreciate any love and support you could give me. If you enjoy my content as well, all my content is in playlists from all my previous videos. So don't hesitate to check those out if you fancy it. If you enjoy my content as well, if you're just tuning in, don't hesitate to drop me a like and a subscribe. I always sub back to new subscribers because we're a family on YouTube. We're all just trying to grow. We're all just trying to get support. And that's what I try to give back to people. I feel like if you're going to tune into my stuff and subscribe to me, I'm going to do the same for you. It's only polite. It's only fair. So I feel as though I have covered a lot in this video. I'm not really sure what else to go into detail about at the moment. But What do you guys think? What do you guys think I should do next? Because I'm going to be continuing my Arkham series to its conclusion, obviously. I'm not going to bother doing the Nightfall Protocol, simply because all the riddles, it will take so long to collect all the riddles. So I'm just going to do all the extra little side missions with all the bosses, minus the Riddler, and then we'll finish it. Of course, I'm going to be starting my new game series on Saturday. And once again, I'm going to just drop it on you and not tell you what it is. Damien, what's up? Thanks for stopping by again. Appreciate it. I'm about to end the stream, but if you tune back later, I will be doing another Arkham Knight stream. It's about 3 hours from now, so it's 10 past 6 here, so it's about 9-ish. I'll be doing it here. I'm not sure on time zones where everybody is. But when I do my videos, I try and do them slightly later over here than what I would normally do, because I know most of my subscribers are in different time zones. I don't. Not a lot of people know this, but I am from the UK, so I'm in a completely different time zone to like America or Germany or wherever you might be viewing from right now. So I try and do my videos a bit later to coincide with different time zones. So it'll be 4 o'clock over there. So if I can work it out, well, you're not that far. You're not that far behind on time zones. You're only 2 hours. You're only a few hours, so that's not too bad. But yeah, guys, I've covered everything I need to cover in this video. I don't think I've got anything left to talk about, because I've gone through all of my games. I've talked about what movies I like. Me and Blazin have had a couple of chats about The Walking Dead, about Telltale Games. I've gone into massive detail in this video about Telltale Games and how they shut down and whatnot. If you're interested as well, I do have more in-depth, detailed videos about Telltale Games closure and why they shut down. So I am streaming this from my phone, so you might get me I might be in your face a little bit whilst I attempt to try and end the stream. Green Lantern is not good. Green Lantern is not. Well, it's better than Venom. Anything's better than Venom. Anyway, guys, I think I've found how to end the stream. So this has been Gamerdude. Stay tuned later for another Arkham Knight stream. It's going to be a big one. I'm going to do a lot of side missions, collect a couple of riddles, and do a couple of story missions. So stay tuned for that. Happy gaming, and I will catch you all real soon.